Okay, it's going live on YouTube, but just to say, I've had an email from Sean, so I'm just going to send him the link while we start the meeting, so hopefully he can join us. Okay. So ready when you are, VJ.
Lovely. Good evening, councillors and members. Welcome to Iron First Planning and Development Committee, held on the 13th of July.
Okay, it's going live on YouTube, but just to say, I've had an email from Sean, so I'm just going to send him the link while we start the meeting, so hopefully he can join us. Okay.
Is it getting an echo there?
VJ. Yeah, there is. Sorry, I just need to somehow turn.
Good evening, councillors and members. Welcome to Iron First Planning and Development Committee, held on the 13th of July.
Done that without moving your legs, please, Joe.
Right, sorry, I still had YouTube on in the background, which causes a delay and a bounce back. So hopefully that's sorted it now. I've closed it down.
Okay, perfect. Have we got any apologies of absence for the meeting this year?
Apologies from Councillor Salmon, and we have Barry Spencer, councillor, here as substitute for Councillor Salmon.
Okay. Thank you very much, Councillor Spencer. Any declarations of interest? Declarations of disclosable pecuniary interests and other interests and the nature of those interests relating to items on the agenda. Does anybody have anything to disclose?
No.
No.
I think I may interest on the agenda 1.3 that I live very close proximity to development. I think I will be voicing or chairing the meeting, but really voicing my own agenda point on this application. So, are we now to receive the minutes on the 6th of June 21, which are on page 1 to 4 in our agenda packs. Is everybody those minutes?
Move they be signed.
Second that.
Thank you very much. Have a quick vote on that. Thank you. Those minutes signed off. Bringing us on to item consideration. Here with pages 5 to 7 on our agenda packs. So if we go straight to 21/00858 FUL, conversion of existing detached garage with playroom and study above to ancillary granny annex, 75 Wharf Road, Higham Ferrers, pages 8 to 13 on our agenda packs. Does anybody want to start off on this one? Councillor Whiting.
Okay, I don't really see a problem with it. I've been and had a look, and there's a gate to the side of the house, which you can't see the actual back of the building, but the path that goes down the back is a public footpath, and it is access to cars and garages, and a lot of people don't use the garages. They pull into their back gardens, basically. So I don't really see a problem with this. It's not going to affect anybody.
Okay, Councillor Spencer.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I fully agree with Councillor Whitings on this. I was down there this morning and I can't see we have any reason to object on that whatsoever.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Gardner.
Thank you very much, Chair. My only concern is that are we creating a separate dwelling altogether? The property is big and I agree, got completely more than enough room to take this on. The property's already had extensive developments, and that's my only concern, that we are allowing a separate dwelling at the bottom, because it will have its own access, it will have its own amenities, it will have everything that is singular to the main property. So that's the only point I wanted to raise. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. also been property, and I was let into the garden, have a look and walk through the garden and have a look at the property. There's no extension to the footprint. There's no additional
Turn
window.
the volume up.
And I've been told to accommodate all the applicants' teenage children to live there later on, potentially, or to have just some extras to the house. I understand what my concern as well. I thought, if you've got separate power, you've got separate usage, does that tantamount create a separate dwelling, which then could be boarded off and sold later on? I'm not sure. Yeah. That also. Councillor Whiting.
Thank you. All I'll say is, Vijay, on that one, if they did decide in the future to change it, it would all have to go through the proper planning policies. They can't just change it and get rid of it as a separate dwelling. It has to go through all the proper planning channels. So I don't think we've got much to worry about that.
Okay, noted. Alicia.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to add and confirm what Councillor Whiting has said. Normally with these applications, there is a condition that is attached to the permission that strictly says it can only be used as an annex and can't be used as a separate dwelling to the main residence.
Okay. Does anybody else there have anything to offer on this application? And therefore, can I ask someone to make a proposal?
I propose that we raise no objection, but I would like to add the condition about the annex, as Alicia's just said.
I'll second that.
I'll second that. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Show of hands for all those in favour to the proposal. Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Chair, sorry, Chair, can we just at this point welcome Councillor Prosser along, because this is his first meeting. Glad to see you, Sean. Yeah, and Tina, I'm glad you got on.
My grandson brought a different laptop for me.
You can always rely on the grandchildren.
I know, yes.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Planning and Development meeting.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
About 50.
Sure.
Okay. Moving on to item 2.1/939 FUL, story and 2-story rear extension of 40 Street, Ferrers. Copy herewith, page 14. Have any say here, Councillor Gardner?
Yeah, this property has already had quite a lot of work done. It's got new fencing and quite a lot of property, a lot of work done to the property, I should say. It's quite set back. It's well off the main road. Can I just ask, was there any objections from any of the properties around, Alicia?
There were no comments from members of the public that were showing on the North Northants Council website.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
See any hands up? Look, I've I think it's been tastefully done. The design is very, very pleasing. Again, I don't really think there's many objections we have in terms of windows overlooking access. It's a big plot. It's set back from the road, as Councillor Gardner suggests. Please, Councillor.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, if no one's got anything to add further, that I say we pass this with no comment and no objection. I see nothing wrong with this at all.
I'll second that.
Can I have a show of all those? Perfect, thank you. Brings us on 3.21/4 VAR, variation condition 1941. It's a change of use, B1, B2, central distribution for, and it's of our agenda pack. Okay, let me. Licia, do we have any details on site access plan? The fact that the proposed changes are to be in favour of the site becoming almost a logistics hub for deliveries for the region. My concerns are for traffic on the high street and traffic at the rear entrance of the venue. In terms of drivers, pick up, drop off. Please, Councillor Spence. Yeah.
Chair, sorry, do you mind me just interjecting? Chair, you're breaking up. I don't know how everybody else is, but
No,
I can hardly, I'm struggling to hear it. I'm getting 2 words out of a sentence and that's it, Chair.
I'm the same, Angela.
Yeah.
It's the same for me as well.
Apologies. Give me 1 second. I'll try and switch to another.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was going to have to ask you to repeat the question that you put to me.
Is that better? Is that a bit clearer now?
Yes, much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah.
Angela, it's a few occasions you asked me to speak more.
We just want to know what you are saying.
Shall we? Point 3 again. Shall we start from from agenda for this Bewitched Coffee House?
Right.
Oh,
You're doing it. It's happening again.
It started again, VJ.
it started again, VJ. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Right, is that any better? Have you got me again?
At the moment.
Can't see you. We can hear you.
Sorry.
There we go.
Hmm.
Yeah, much joy. Eh? Okay, is that better? Good.
I think so.
I think if you try again and we'll see how we get on, yeah.
Okay. So we're at the Bewitched Coffee House, which is abuse. And it's a change of use 1 B2 A3 as a central distribution centre. Pages 15 to 19 on our agenda pack.
Hmm.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, it's still breaking up.
Okay.
I think if while you're doing that, if I can just clarify, this is for so the change of use has already been granted, and this is to vary 2 of the conditions attached to the permission. So the conditions are condition 4, where they would like to add air conditioning units and external condensers, and then variation to condition 8, which is basically amendment to plan referencing, which is linked to the fact that they want to put the air conditioning units on. So
okay.
it's variation of condition. So it's how you feel about the addition of the air conditioning units and the condensers.
Councillor Reevy.
Thank you, Chair. It says that the placement will not increase noise or have any visibility to the neighbours or general public. I haven't actually come across an air conditioner that doesn't have any noise. So I am a bit concerned about the noise level, but they're saying that there won't be an increase in noise.
I would say that's the applicant saying that, as opposed to maybe the neighbours or environmental protection. I would say that a member of the public has raised concerns about noise.
Right. Okay.
Councillor Gardner, I saw your hand up earlier.
Thank you very much, Chair. A couple of points. First one, has Environmental Health made any comments on the application, or have we got any comments from any other, apart from the 1 member of the public?
There's objection from another member of the public, a neighbouring property, who says that actually access is required through their garden to install, repair and service the new units if they're permitted. And the location plan and the application details don't show that clearly, that access is required. And then there was comment from Environmental Protection who say that they have been out to site, but they raise no objection.
Right.
So they have looked at it.
So they presume, sorry, Chair,
Please.
presumably they know what sort of a unit it's going to be, and they would know how noisy it's going to be then, wouldn't they? And yet they're not objecting to it.
I would like to think so, yeah. Couldn't say that.
It seems to be that we're sort of stabbing in the dark here, don't we? Because we don't really know very much about it. So,
Councillor Gardner, I think, was next.
Thank you, Chair. If the member of the public whose house is going to have to be used, the garden's going to have to be used for service and maintenance, etc., they are fundamentally objected, I don't see that we can accept this and go forward with we're just saying that you can have carte blanche to go over somebody else's property. I think that issue needs addressing before we can look at this again properly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Whiting.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I remember when this first came up, when I was on East Northants planning, and there was a big to-do about all these air conditioners and, all the condensers and what have you. And it was very much frowned upon. And I think they did have to withdraw on some of their application, and hence why they've got what they've got now. I'm very reluctant to let them go any further, if I'm honest. It's pretty noisy in there anyway, let alone outside. And I think if they, change it all, and I think from looking at the plans, the coffee shop's going to be a little bit smaller than what it is at the moment. Yeah, we're extending the prep area, but I don't think we should be able to agree to it. I'm sorry, it might just be me, but I'm not happy with it.
Okay, Councillor Spencer.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, following on from the fellow councillor's comments there, I agree especially with Pam on this. And I can quite assuredly tell you, looking at those Toshiba specs, there's no way will they be silent, not with that high airflow going through them.
Yeah, Councillor, just had a look at the setup myself on the sound statistics. It's a range of 48 to 69 decibels. It's definitely not silent. Councillor Prosser, I saw you had your hand up earlier.
Yes, Chair, I was about to make exactly the same point, so
Okay.
I don't have anything further to add there.
Thank you. Does anybody have a proposal?
sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on, Tina.
I propose that we object to the addition of the air conditioning. I don't see that it's going to be quiet, and I think we should object to it.
Councillor,
Thank you, Chair. Could we please add the issues with the neighbouring property and going on to their garden, which I think is a complete and a miss to put a planning application in without consultation to your neighbouring property, especially if you need to use them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd like to second that proposal, if I may.
okay, can I have a vote, please? Okay, everybody, thank you. This brings us to item 4, 21/00861 OU outline planning application with all matters reserved, aside access from a proposed residential development of up to 84 dwellings, site 948, former quarry, Hayway, Rushden. Copy on our agenda packs on page 20 to 49. Who wants to start me off with?
In at the deep end. Again, sorry, but on the original application on this, again, I was on planning at Thrapston. It happened a few years ago. There was a big concern over the floodplain, because I think we've all noticed since they've put them houses down Northampton Road, we've noticed a big difference when there's a downpour of rain at Northampton Road. It just runs down like a river. The rain's got nowhere to go. There's another field with 84 houses in the back of Hayway. Then, where are all the cars going to go? How much more transport can we take? Northampton Road is at strangulation now, let alone all that. But my biggest concern on this as well is the Hayway Junction. We're going to get extra cars coming out there. Since they changed it about 3 years ago, it's a very, very tight junction. And I think we would have to try and press, I don't think we're going to be able to stop the houses because it's in the neighbourhood plan for Rushden. So I don't think we're going to be able to stop it. But I would have concerns over the junction with Hayway and Northampton Road. And again, it's the traffic, it's the houses, no infrastructure. I'm sorry, but, you know, I don't think we're going to stop it, but I'm not happy with it.
Okay, Councillor Reevy.
Why do they want to bring the entrance onto Northampton Road? Why can't they bring it onto the Hayway?
It is onto the Hayway.
It's onto the Hayway.
I thought it was showing on Northampton Road.
No,
Yeah. Right. Is it? I'll have to have another look at that because I thought, why bring it onto Northampton Road again?
Sorry, Chair, can I come back in?
Please.
It is towards the top of Hayway. Access is coming out onto Hayway, but it is towards the top. And again,
right.
That's going to cause more traffic congestion. Yeah.
Right.
If you look at page 20, Tina, you'll see access to. No, sorry.
I did look at it and I did think, well, why are they bringing it out on there again?
Yeah, no, there's an access to dwellings from Northampton Road, but as far as, correct me if I'm wrong, that's only to those 2 blocks of residential. There's no through road to the rest of the development.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
Please, Councillor Gardner.
Thank you. Also, Councillor Reeve, if you go to page 32, you'll see it's all done with technical drawings. And I found that quite handy. My comments, she said, taking a huge deep breath. Are we ready? We have had and have 3 applications in such a tight area. We've had the Rushden Gateway, we've had the houses that are currently being built, and also this new application with no thought for the infrastructure that's needed to carry such loads. We will then, if the Rushden Gateway goes ahead, which undoubtedly and sadly it will, we will have HGVs, we will have other works, traffics going on there, as well as the proposed care home and everything else. We will then have the 80 plus dwellings that are currently being built. Then we'll have another 80 plus dwellings. It is absolute madness that such a high volume of houses, both and business, would come out on an antiquated road that is not fit for purpose without substantial infrastructure. It absolutely beggars belief. I know that we probably won't be able to stop it, and yes, I adhere to the neighbourhood plan that Rushden has in place, but I do not agree with this in any way, shape or form. Alicia, has the Rushden School made any comment or anything else surrounding made any comment? Highways or anyone else made any comments on this application?
I can quickly run through the comments that were available today on the website. So to date, there have been 7 objections from members of the public. In summary, the main objection is to do with the impact upon the highway network and the traffic congestion that it will generate. There were concerns about flooding because the area is reported to regularly flood. There were comments with regard to basically the number of houses, and actually they were commenting about the size of the houses, but the application is outlined and doesn't detail that. But there was also comment with regard to the lack of infrastructure to support the development. And also there was comment with regard to Rowangate School. Apparently it's no longer a primary school, but it is a school for pupils with learning needs.
That's correct.
And
It's a
not,
special needs school. It's at
Yeah.
the other end of the highway, but it would still impact on it.
yeah, I think there were comments because the assumption was it was a primary school and therefore it would cater
That
for
service. No, it won't.
residents in that new development, but it won't. Yeah, so that's essentially the main points of objection from members of the public. Environmental protection have suggested planning conditions because it's potentially a contaminated site, and then they also suggested conditions that would be linked to noise, dust, construction management plan and construction working times. The Environment Agency have objected because they say the flood risk assessment is not acceptable, and so they're seeking revised flood risk assessment. There wasn't anything from highways at this point in time.
Oh, well, they won't be. They're useless.
Ultimately, I'm afraid that if highways give this the green light, then everything else is immaterial anyway. Unfortunately, as these things happen.
As we've seen.
I still think we got horse and carts on.
What was that?
I said, I think highways still think we got a horse and carts.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Rushden Neighbourhood Plan policy does specifically say any proposal for this site will be expected to demonstrate robust consideration of the impacts of the local highway network in combination with other proposals, including Rushden Lakes and then Valley Park. So, it does recognise that obviously highways is an important issue.
By the time both these developments are done, that roundabout, the Lakes roundabout, will be out of date again.
I think we ought to object. Sorry, VJ.
Yes, no, I was just about to ask for a proposal.
I just think we ought to object on the grounds of the infrastructure primarily, and then, you know, take into consideration what the Environmental Agency and all those have said as well, so that we can encompass all of what they've said, support what they've said, but actually highlight that, you know, it's going to be, if there's 184 houses, is it 182, 184? That's going to be probably 160 more cars.
Yep.
Is it possible to add on there about the incomplete information, such as Rowan Gate is not a primary school, and has there been
but that was the same with the Prospect Avenue.
Yes,
you know, they were
that's
selling
correct.
it.
Yes, because we don't have, not only do we not have the infrastructure, we do not have the schooling system. There is currently a waiting list. Now, I know the argument will be that High Hayden will have new primary and secondary schools, but that's not being built and the cut-off is long. You know, the proposal is to have these built long before that ever even thinks about taking place. So we don't have the infrastructure, the schooling, the doctors, the National Health Service, all of those has a vast impact. And if we could mention them, that would be brilliant from my point of view. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gardner. Does anybody else have anything? Or do I have a second? Oh, was the proposal?
Yeah, can I just make a comment?
Please.
I'm quite happy with, you know, putting an objection in, as everybody said, and backing up what all the authorities have done. But I would like to put a bit in there about that junction at the top of, because it is not going to be adequate. It's too tight a bend. They narrowed it when they altered it. I think we should make a comment about the Hayway Northampton Road junction.
In particular, I'm concerned with turn-offs off of access site the Hayway.
You're breaking up again, VJ. Sorry.
Yes. 1 second. All right, is that better again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to be.
Yes, I want to say we look at page 20 of the application, you can see that separate cluster of houses off of Northampton Road has 2 further slip roads coming onto Northampton Road. That 2 road will make an road.
Sorry, you're broken up again, Vijay. We heard you up to where you said about the slip road coming onto Northampton Road, and then we missed after that.
Yeah, that was good enough. 2 more slip roads off of Northampton. Okay, so sorry, did we have a proposal to object? Was that for you, Councillor Reevy?
Yeah, I did. I propose that we object on all the taking up on all the what the environmental agency have said, but also to say that we don't think the infrastructure is good enough, and particularly to point out, as Councillor Whiting said, that the actual junction with Northampton Road is inadequate to take the extra traffic.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that?
I'll second that.
Proposal? Thank you, Councillor Brown. In favour? That's everybody again. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Before I completely lose my signal, let's move on to 4.2 to receive and note the following application for tree preservation order work. I won't read them all out. They're on page 50 to 52 on our agenda packs. Does anybody have anything to comment? Please,
I'd say, yeah, but I'm hoping it's me, Vijay, because you've synced out again, love. Can I just say that we accept all, as I know our tree warden has looked at these in depth, as he always does, and suggested all works that need doing. So can I propose that we accept these as our tree warden has, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Could we have that, please? That's everybody. Thank you. Have I broken up again?
Yeah, it's still not particularly
Sorry.
clear, Vijay.
No.
Just can't get the councillors these days.
Rather embarrassing, to be honest. I'm back again. Am I back? Not.
You are back.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was carried. And now we have to note determinations on planning. Copy here with A.
Yeah.
I move for these.
I'll second it.
All those in favour? Thank you very much. Make a note of that, please, Alicia. Item number 5, club premises certificate consultation. To consider a response to consultation for comments on the application for a club premises certificate. 21.00. Application for club premises Joe's Bar, 98 High Street, page 4 on our application, on our agenda.
You're breaking up again, Vijay.
Joe's Bar, page 54 on the agenda pack.
He's going to lose his temper in a bit.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Right.
They're all useful. Terrible.
Right.
Go ahead. Anybody have any comments on Joe's application for the park? Councillor Spencer.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I know Joey quite well. He was ex-military, and he does run that place now with quite an iron hand, and he won't tolerate any trouble or aggravation or anything. The slightest thing, and they're out and they stay out.
Yes, I need to concur with your comments, Barry. I know Joe as well. He runs a tight ship, a good pub. He's very strict when he's very people out, and it's just like terms. Tina.
Thank you. I would just like to say that I'm a bit concerned about the performance license to have indoor and outdoor music on a Friday and a Saturday. it is a residential area, isn't it? That's my concern, especially if it's outdoor. Indoor I can understand, but having it outdoor, and I am concerned that it is a residential area. It's surrounded by housing, that pub, isn't it? You know, there's the flats and all of those in sort of Commercial Street and High Street. It's just totally encased with housing. That's my concern about it.
Councillor Gardner.
Thank you, Chair. I note that it says the live music will start at 8 and finish at 23:59. It says that predominantly they will all be inside. There's only one that's going to be held outside, and that will be on August Bank Holiday. And he's doing that in the afternoon, and all music will stop at 7 o'clock in the evening. As an application, I don't have an issue with it at all, and I'm happy with it. So, but I will take on board other councillors' comments. But I myself do not have a problem with it at all. Thank you.
Angela. Whiting.
Right, thank you. No, I'm in agreement with Councillor Gardner here. They don't have many outdoor venue events. When they do stick to the time. And as has been said before, Joe is very strict on what he does. Yeah. I can just add that the house next door, actually, when Joe moved into the pub, he paid for the house next door to be soundproofed. So the music's not going to go from the inside into the next door, and I know that because it used to be my husband's aunt who lived there, and she, quite adamant about it, and she never heard a thing. So I'd like to think that we can support Joe on this. He does an awful lot of good, and he raises money in the armed forces, and I'd like to second the proposal that we, back him up on this.
Absolutely. I agree.
Can I ask comments to be made? Can I ask for a vote?
So just quickly, can I put a comment in?
Yes, sorry, Councillor.
That's okay. I was a little bit slow on the draw. Just in terms of the supply of alcohol on premises until 1 o'clock, is that in line with other premises, other kind of licenses in the area?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing I would just add is that this is for the club, and the premises already has a license. And as I understand it, the premises license and the club license that we're now considering are exactly the same in terms of what they're asking for and operating hours. So it's basically matching what is already existing for the premises license for Joe's Bar anyway.
Okay.
Thank you.
For Councillor Gardner's proposal, or is it Councillor Pam Whiting's proposal? Can we have those in favour? Thank you very much. That's it. Item report, an opportunity for the committee to report. No decision can be made under this item. Do I have any volunteers? Then I suppose. Okay.
Yep.
Next meeting will be set at the 17th of August 2020.
Yes, you are breaking up, is the answer to your question. We take it that it's the 17th of August.
Let's